Hello guys, I'm Sipaka and I'm back again with another video. Today I'm here to teach you how to use Python, basic lessons of Python. Basically, I'm introducing you to Python programming language. So, for first-time users, most people don't have Python in their computers. So, if you are a Windows user, you need to type this link in order for you to install Python. http www.python.org. This is the link that will take you to where you have to download Python. This is only for Windows users. For people who are using Mac OS, usually Python is already installed there. You just have to open your terminal and run Python or run idle from Finder. For Linux, if you already have Python, you have to check from your terminal. You have to run Python from your terminal to check if it's installed. And if it's not installed, then you have to install it from your distributions package system. Yes, I hope that's clear. So this link is for Windows users only. Then you type this link on your Google and then enter. This is where the link will take you to. And yeah, this is where you have to download Python. Either you click here or you click here. Either way, it will take you to download the latest version of Python, which is Python 3.11. This is what you'll be installing, 3.11, the latest version of Python. So once you've installed it in your Windows, this is how it will appear. 3.11. This is everything that will appear with it. And we're gonna run the idle. Today we're gonna run the idle. This is the platform we'll be using. Okay, so you open your idle so that we can work them. This is it. This is how it will look like. So first things first, guys, I would like you to guys first save your document before we even type anything. Can you just save it so that you can work properly in a saved document? Your code will be saved. Yeah, you can give it any name you like and to save it. Now that my file is saved, I can now work on it. So for first-time users, I'm simply going to teach you how to print a statement and what is a variable and a value. So firstly, to print a statement, this is what we type. And you have to have brackets in order for you to print something. So basically, to print a statement is to execute an output. You're giving an output. You're running something that you want to see as an output. So print is like an output in Python, you see? Yes. So basically, I'm typing hello world because this is like the basics of programming. Most programmers, in order for them to start programming, they just started with hello world. Everyone knows hello world. So I'm just going to print hello world for you. So to print it, you just run. Yes, it is saved. And this is the output, hello world. This is how it will appear. It means this is what we printed basically. Print statement, it gives an output of an execution. So that's print for you. So let's just learn how to print like something more of a sentence. So let's say print, meaning you're telling a computer to write an output of this thing. Hello world. And I want to print a space, meaning I'm printing nothing. It's gonna be an empty line. That's why I'm saying print, and I have nothing in the bracket. That means it's gonna be an empty line. And then we're gonna print. I'm not gonna leave a line, meaning it will type these two lines followed by each other. The first one is gonna be followed by a space. The second one will follow each other without having a space in between. So I want you to see the difference of the space and not having a space. And I'm gonna run this. So because this is the first time I'm teaching Python, I just wanted you guys to see the difference of print and having something written on print and having nothing written on print. But let me show you a simpler way of printing a new line without having to type print. You're just gonna say \new line. You're just gonna add \new line, and yes, still give me the same output, but I did not write print. An empty print is no longer there, meaning when I write /n, this is a new line, meaning everything followed by the next statement will be in a new line. You see, that's why it's giving me this type of output. I hope you guys understand. This is like writing a new line in a shorter way, in a shorter version, basically. Yes. So if I remove this \new line, it's gonna give me an output that doesn't have new lines, meaning there is no space in between the lines. Okay, guys, yes, that was Python print statement. Let me show you how to skip lines for all my sentences, meaning all these outputs, all the statements will be printed after new lines. I'm leaving a line after each sentence. This is the output. You see, I typed hello world and left the line. This is my first Python project and left the line. I love Python. So basically, when you run Python, you don't, the word print does not execute. It means it won't show. But because this is an output, Python will print whatever that has been printed under the print statement. Print itself will not be executed. It means print will not be written down as an output because we're giving an instruction to a computer. We're giving a computer an instruction to print this. So it means print won't be here, won't be written anywhere here under the output. I hope you guys understand. So I want to show you how to write a command in Python. A command is something that won't be printed out. It's like this. To write a command in Python, you use a hash sign. So I'm gonna comment on something. Okay. This is a comment, and this is another comment. So this is me commenting on my project, meaning these red lines here, the ones with the hash, it won't be executed. It won't show under the output. When I run this project, they won't be seen, you see? Instead, it gives me this output. The print, hello world. Print, this is my first Python project. Print, I love Python. Because this is a command, it won't be executed. Basically, a command in many cases is used to for programmers to remember what's going on in the code, in order for you not to forget what's happening in your own code, you just write a command and that command won't show under the output, basically. Yes, I hope you got that. And Python has this thing as a syntax error. A syntax error, it means your code will not run. It means there is an error in your code, and Python will give you a hint which line has an error, like this one. Let me just say I removed the T under the print and I'm running this. You see, this is a syntax error. Line 2 has an error, and it gives you a hint what's happening. I'm gonna run it again. You see, it gives you a hint. Print, print is not defined, meaning this word you executed here is not defined. And this is the error in line 2. This is called a syntax error. It means your code won't be running. So at least Python will give you a hint whenever something is incorrect. So guys, I'm gonna teach you what is a value and what is a variable. Well, the difference between the two and what do we use them for. So firstly, I'm gonna teach you what is a variable. I'll just write it as a command. A variable in my words, in my simple explanation, I will say a variable is saved in a computer memory. It's basically a label that is used to save a value. That's my definition. So in this example, let me give you a hint. Let's say we're using num. I'm just gonna say num, standing for number. Num equals to 1. In this example, a variable here is num. Num is a variable and 1 is a value, meaning I'm saving this value in num as a variable. A variable is a label. It labels what the value means. Let's say I'm having another variable like name. So name is a variable, meaning it is a label of this value. This value is saved under this label. So basically, a variable, it labels a value. And what is a value? A value, I already explained it, is saved. So these are my simple definition of a variable and a value. A value is saved inside a variable and may change during processing. This is the actual piece of data that must be stored in a variable. Left the letter here. So yes, the internet version, the internet definition, it's much more confusing. It's a bit confusing. So that's why I'm typing you guys this simple one. So basically, a value is what's saved inside a variable. And what do I mean when I say it may change during processing? It means, like I wrote here, num equals to 1 and name equals to e. The reason why I'm putting quotations in under name is because name is a string. That's the data type for name. Num is an integer. You don't quote an integer. You quote a string data type. I'm gonna tell you more about data types as we go on this lesson. So when I wrote like this, basically I can print, meaning I'm giving an output saying print for me num and print for me name. Me wanting an output of these two variables. and this is the output. I've got 1 and me, meaning I printed num. Num is 1, the value of num is 1, the value of name is me. You see? So what I mean by saying may change during processing, this is what I mean. If I say num is equals to 2, and I still say print num and print name, this is the output that I will get. 2 and me, meaning Python is now taking 2 as the value of num. Why is that? That is because Python, when it executes a statement, it checks line by line. It means it executes it from top to bottom. As we started this code, we wrote num as 1 and name as me. And then we changed num to 2. It means now number 1 does not exist anymore. So Python will take the last execution of num, meaning num is now 2. The first one that we wrote here, it's no longer existing in the memory. It's no longer saved in the memory. It's now gonna take 2 as the value of num. I hope you guys understand. It means the first statement we wrote as num equals to 1 will no longer exist because now we changed num to 2. So the computer will only run the last execution of num. I hope you guys understand, because even if I change name now and say name is no longer me, it's now them, the output will be them because the first name is no longer existing. It has been erased by the last name. So let me run it for you. Now the output num equals to 2, name equals to them. It means that as I changed num here to 2 and name to them, this is the output I'll get. The first one no longer exists if I have another execution, but if I erase these ones, the first one will exist because there is no new variable of the same name. You see? Yes, guys. So another thing that I wanted to tell you about in this lesson, it's data type. So in Python, we've got data types, like you've seen me using different structures to write a number and different structure to write alphabets. So in Python, we've got numbers. Numbers are integers. Let me just quote it. So when I say an integer, I mean a whole number like this one. This variable num has a whole number. It means num is an integer. And then we've got a string. So a string, it's a text made up of numbers, letters, and symbols. So another thing, guys, when we label a variable in Python, we mustn't leave spaces because a space is also taken as a value, you know. So a string is like a text. It's more like it's made up of letters, of symbols and numbers. By a string, this is what I mean when I say a string, a name. In order for you to write a string, you have to write it in quotation marks. So when I say name equals 1, this is taken like a string, basically. This is a string. I know it's the same value with the integer, but it's different because it's quoted. So it's seen as a string, or I can say. So a variable basically can be anything you can think of. You can label anything you want. You just make up a variable into something that you want to see as an output. Yeah, into a value that you want to see as an output. That's why I'm writing any variables, any labels basically. So when I say new, New, it's a value that is a string. This value specifically is a string because it's in quotation marks. So a string is quoted basically. And we also have a float. This is a decimal number. A float is more like a number that is not a whole number. It's a decimal number. Any number that has a comma, 0,5, 0,6, 0.7, it's a float decimal number. And lastly, we have a Boolean. A Boolean is a true or false statement. To give you an example of a Boolean, I would say, example, let's say C. I'm just giving a variable C equals to number 5. So basically what I'm saying is C is 5. So to check if it's true, let me just give you an example how to check true or false. So I'll just say 5 equals to 7. 5 is equivalent to 7. And let me run this one. Print. When I say print, I'm saying run. So to check if 5 is equals to 7, which we all know it's false, let's see. The answer is false. But if I say 5 is equivalent to 5, this is the output that I will get. True. You see, so basically true or false statements are considered as a Boolean. I hope you guys understand the different data types. I think I explained it in a more simpler way because the internet version is a bit confusing, So yes, these are the data types. An integer is a whole number. A string is made up of letters or symbols. A float is a decimal number, and Boolean is a true or false statement. You see, yeah. Okay, guys. So to check each data type of a value in Python, we'll print this output. Let me just erase this. To check a data type, you will print type. You want a data type of a specific value. Let's say you want a data type for num. Num is this one, an integer. Num. You have to close each bracket you opened. So if you open 2 brackets, you have to close 2 brackets at the end, and you run. It will give you int, meaning it's short for integer. So let's say I want to check a string. If this name and new is a string, I'll type the same thing. So I want to check what type of data is the quoted one and the quoted output telling me what type of data it is. Alright, let's run it. Oh, there is an error here. You see, it won't run unless you fix all your errors. So the error is that I didn't put another bracket at the end. You see, it gives me different data types. So num here, num integer is an int. So number 1 here, the quoted one, it's a string because it's in quotations. It's a string, and the name specifically it's also a string because it's a quoted name. Let's check for a float data type. Let's see. You see, it gives you different data types. So it gives you num, it's an int, 1 here, it's a string. Specific, it's a string. And n, this is n, so comma 2, it's a float. As you can see here, the output. So yes, guys, hope you guys learned a lot from today's lesson because I introduced you to Python, the basic, how to install Python, how to print a statement, and I also taught you data types. We'll work more on these data types for better understanding. On my next video, I'll show you how to execute statement better using all these data types. So thank you, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and yes, please like and subscribe. Thank you.